The difference between true and truth. I went through 20 years of trauma. Well, that's true. And I have these beliefs about myself. Well, that's true, but that's not truth. The truth is none of those things are real. Those are just my subjective interpretation of them and of the world around me, but that does not define the world. My view of the world is not what the world really is. So it may be true to me, but the truth is so much more than what I can see with my limited view. Truth has a frequency, but only truth with a capital T.
Welcome to our very first recorded conversation. In this episode, Cameron and I dive into everything from friendships to AI to spiritual growth. Cameron is not only a dear friend, but also a coach and mentor. This was an impromptu chat that we felt called to share with you. We'll be bringing more of these deep conversations your way, exploring topics that go beyond the surface, unpacking our views on life, reflecting on the hidden layers that shape our experiences. We're so glad you're here with us. Let's jump in.
So define the word friend for me.
If I was talking to a 4 year old, I would say a friend is somebody that you feel safe with and you can talk to them and grow with them. And it also teaches you how to be a better person because
Mm,
I wouldn't want a child to think that, well, I want to play Legos, but my friend wants to play with dolls, so we can't be friends anymore.
mhm.
I don't want them to be too narrow minded where it's like, as long as it feels good, like, that's the only way. I want them to realize that a friend is somebody that challenges you so you can be their friend and then they want to be your friend. But it has to be positive.
I think that's a perfect definition of a friend because it's simple, and sometimes the simplest things are the most effective and the most powerful things. Simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. And so sometimes as adults, if we just followed the advice that we give children and some of the things that we teach children, I think our lives would be so much better. And so if that's your definition of a friend, which I think is a fantastic definition, um, let's talk about these friends that you were just talking about before we hit the record button. Are they actually still your friends, or is it possible that you might have outgrown them?
Knowing when you've outgrown people, places, and things. And I know that we talk about that a lot about like perhaps like childhood friends. Um, and like sometimes outgrowing people, nothing big has to happen.
Well, only one thing has to happen. Like you, sometimes you know you've outgrown somebody, and it's not the knowing part that's the hard part. It's easy to figure out, like, oh, I think I've outgrown this person. That's the easy part. The hard part is coming to acceptance and coming to terms with it, and then severing the relationship. Or maybe not like permanently cutting off all contact, but just choosing a boundary to where, like, hey, I'm not going to put you in the friend category anymore. I'll be acquaintances with you, but I no longer consider you or hold you as a friend.
And also that you're not going to get my energy if
Hmm.
nothing is coming back. And that was really a big one for me was the energy aspect. It's like I'm giving you my energy with no conditions. Like this is unconditional support and love. And I'm getting like these empty or very shallow. And at the same time, I'm like, am I being too hard on people? Like, you get this. Like, you can't expect everyone to actually give you the conversation that's going to nurture your soul back because your soul is so deep and it's so like you've got this awareness that most people don't have. So
But
it's
that also doesn't mean you have to settle for anything less than what you deserve. Just because it's harder to find people that are on the same soul level as you and that resonate with you and that reciprocate the energy back to you that you pour into them. Just because it's harder to find those people, it doesn't mean that those people aren't out there. They may just be fewer in quantity, they're fewer in number, but they are out there. like the higher you go, the higher on the ladder you go, like higher energy, higher developed soul, the fewer people there are at the top. The fewer and
Yeah.
fewer people, the higher you go. And you're way up there. I think we can both agree you're a little bit more spiritually, emotionally developed than the average person. So there's naturally going to be a price you have to pay, unfortunately, is that there's very few people up there, but they're still there. And sometimes it's like, like in a field of flowers, you got to go through a couple of weeds before you find that flower. It's probably a silly analogy, but you get the point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you have to another analogy, I heard somebody say this one time. It's like you are an eagle, but you have been raised amongst chickens your whole life. So all you've ever known was chickens, like everything around you, chickens. You've just known chickens, but you couldn't quite figure out why you're different, why your wings are a little bit bigger, why you're
Yeah.
shaped a little bit differently, why you sound different, why you look different, and you've been ridiculed and made fun of for that your whole life. You've always seen those things as a deficiency, but all the things that you were taught to see as a deficiency are actually your superpowers because you're a fucking eagle. And these are chickens. And at the end of the day, their opinion doesn't fucking matter. And just because
Mm.
you've been raised amongst chickens your whole life, it doesn't mean that there aren't other eagles out there. So stop
Yeah.
settling for fucking chickens. You got to go find your other eagle friends.
That's so I finished reading a book and it was called The Wisdom of Shamans. And
Mm.
I feel like this is because and I love this about the Mayan culture because it's so rich with stories.
Yeah.
And they everything is like these stories, and they always use animals to symbolize.
Yeah.
It is like I absolutely am obsessed with it because in the book he even suggests like what's your totem pole, like how, like who are your kind of like your animals and what do they represent, and I was like like that's so cool. And oh god, and everything you're saying, I'm like I feel like that would be a story that you have to teach children, like these like kind of parables and stuff.
Yeah. But it's true though. It's like so many times and so many people spend their whole lives just settling for so much less than what they're worth because of what's immediately available and because of this false belief that they've adopted from other people that there's just there's nothing else out there. It's
Yeah.
like if I'm stuck on an island and I want to get off this island, but everybody on the island is telling me how great it is to just stay on the island. It's comfortable here. We've got food here. So many people just fucking stay. They don't go, you know what? I'm going to build a raft and I'm going to go out there and swim. And if I drown, I drown. But guess what? I know that there has to be land out there somewhere. There's got to be something better out here.
Yeah, or I can always come back kind of thing. Like, like just
Yeah.
try.
People want you to do good, but they don't want you to do better than them.
That is like such a painful part of reality. And I'm seeing this so freaking much. And of course, like I feel like my algorithm is like, it's constantly like giving me like these inspiring stuff like, hey, like what was it? Thomas Edison, it was like 1,000 times he failed
Yeah.
before he actually got the light bulb to work and stuff like that. Or recently I saw something on Jack Ma and how like poor guy, like his story. I was like, dude, you know what? Like there's been sad stories, but that one was really,
Well,
really.
I don't know if I'm familiar with that. How does that one go?
So he is the creator and the owner of Alibaba. The
Oh, that guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
What did he, I forget his story. What happened?
He applied to Harvard 10 times, got 10 rejection letters.
Jesus.
Yeah, and that's as he was older in life. Like as a kid, he just got rejected all the time for everything. They opened a KFC in China and 24 people interviewed to work at this KFC and they hired 23 people.
Except for him. Wow.
And it was a constant things of where everyone else is almost like there was no bar to get in But then when they saw him, they're like, okay, you know what? We're gonna make an exception. Like that felt like his life story was like, they were taking anybody. Like you could be blind, like no legs. They're like, okay, come on in. And then as soon as he showed up, they're like, ooh, like you're uncoachable or you're
Wow.
unhireable kind of thing.
So
And
he was the kid in PE class that everybody chose last. They chose the kid in the wheelchair over him.
yeah, yeah. And then they like went out to the janitor and they're like, hey, are you free? Or come up and like come join us. We need an extra person. Like it
So
was.
how did he turn it around? Like what did he do?
So he was now in US and he went online to buy Chinese beer and he
Okay.
couldn't find Chinese beer. So he created and coded. So I guess he was enough of like a coding nerd enough to create something and he created something to purchase, I guess, things from China. I've actually never used Alibaba, so I feel like I'm not the best person to explain the story, but essentially he wanted Chinese beer. And then he created this thing where a marketplace and he put it in front of a bunch of people and they all said, no, this is never going to work. This is a stupid idea. It's not scalable. Like all the things that you hear, all the different rejections. And then finally, when it went public, it was like the highest. What happens when things go public? It raised the most amount of money.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he went from nobody ever hiring him ever. I think he got a job as a teacher and he got paid like $12 a month. Like,
Jesus.
yeah, like that was the only achievement he had before
Wow.
Alibaba.
If you can even call that an achievement, like that's, that's insane. Wow. It's like if somebody can go through that and still make it, it puts your life into perspective, you know?
Yep. And that's what I keep seeing and hearing. And I'm like, okay, I so get it. And it's a comfort zone. Well, it's really so the comfort zone, the mask and the fear. Like, how does this all, so the mask is gonna protect you from being uncomfortable and it's held on by fear.
Mask protects you from fear, insecurity, shame, and hurt.
Ah,
Is that's what a mask is made of. Like the ingredients that make up a
yeah.
mask is fear, insecurity, shame, and hurt. And that creates the mask that we wear. But I think ultimately what it protects us from is just humiliation and pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we were talking about the beliefs, like that was so, you know, beliefs being like a scar tissue
Mm,
and like and trying to see it that way, like seeing that like your belief is a scar tissue. So it's not helping you. It's just like residue and it's something that's like over so many years, like it just hardened. And that's, you know, the only way to change it is to recognize it for what it is. So the one that I resonated with, if you didn't feel safe as a child, you grew up thinking people weren't safe
yep.
even if they smile, even if they're nice, even if they do stuff for you, like you
They
just,
must be faking it.
yes. And that, when that belief came up, I went, ah, that is totally like my life story. Like, I never liked adults because I always thought adults were sick.
Yeah. Because that's the only example that you ever had.
And then you grow up pushing everyone away because you're like, you're a sicko, like you pervert, and
And
then like,
they could have the purest intentions, but you don't know any better.
yeah. And it like just and that really was like, wow, how do we help people realize that beliefs are scar tissue?
By sharing your own story and how they've affected you. That's the in my opinion, that's the best way to do it, and that's the way that will resonate the most with people because like you can look someone in the eyes and say, Karen, your beliefs are scar tissue, your beliefs are messing you up, XYZ. But it's like when we hear that, part of our brain is like, fuck you, who are you to tell me what to do and what to believe? But then if we share our own experience, it makes us human, it makes us relatable, and then it also makes people reflect on their own experiences and how it's affected their own lives. And so I think like going all the way back to your content, your messaging, that's how you do it, Karen. You just share your story, keep sharing your story, and it'll wake people up. It might not resonate with everybody, but it'll resonate with the right people.
Yeah, that is, you know what, that's such a beautiful answer because right now, especially in the world of AI, we
Mm,
need more stories. We need more experiences because we can Google what is a belief? How do I hack my belief? How do I manifest? We
yeah.
can ask, you know, AI all of those questions, but we can't ask AI, what kind of beliefs did you struggle with?
Yeah, you know, the one thing that AI will never be able to replicate or replace is human subjective experience. Because like AI can string together, you know, like what a belief is and like different types of beliefs and even give you like little story archetypes for different beliefs, but it will never be able to give you a detailed subjective recollection of an actual human experience. Like it doesn't matter. 50 years, 50,000 years from now, with all the advancements in AI and technology, you can't replicate subjectivity. It's impossible. But that's what we need more of in
Yes.
this artificial intelligence age that we live in.
Yes, I'm so curious what your thoughts are on AI. I mean, it's the best of times and it's the worst of times, and but we're still in it regardless. Like,
Yeah. I think it is a blessing and a curse. It's the best of times and the worst of times. I think it's bad because people are people have like an over reliance on it. People rely on it too much to replace their everyday activities, which in a way can be good, but I think we're using it as a social crutch. So for example, instead of learning how to tell a good story or how to write good copy, I'm just going to plug in a prompt to Chat GPT and let Chat GPT write everything for me. It's like I'm not going to learn the skill of communication and the art of copywriting. I'm just going to have a fucking robot do everything for me. I'm not going to, if somebody sends me a message and it's serious and we're having a serious conversation and I need to, instead of taking time to contemplate on that message and think about how I'm going to reply and using my brain power to actually give the person a human response, I'm just going to copy paste their message into Chat GPT. Hey, what is the best way I can respond to this? And then just spit out some fucking canned response. I think that's how it is toxic, is people are relying on it for the wrong things. Where I think it can be good is it gives us access to information and to ideas that we've never had access to before. It gives us
mhm,
this like shortcut. It's almost like a cheat code for convenience, access, and it's an aid and a tool for creation that we've never had before. It's not a replacement or a substitute for creation, but it is a tool that aids in that process. And automation. I think it's wonderful for automation. So things and tasks that a human being should not be doing, data
yes,
analysis, that kind of that is one of the beautiful things about AI is that it can
yeah,
automate the shit that humans shouldn't be doing. So it gives
yeah.
us time to, allocate towards other important things. So I think it is a blessing and a curse. It is a tool, and it's all about how you use the tool, just like with anything else.
So we can do other things, so we can be more human.
Yes. So much yes.
And I think that's where people are missing it. Like they're missing the point of AI is there to so you can delegate and do, yeah, like have a virtual assistant, have somebody, you know, respond to an email. You know what you want to say, but you don't want to like craft all these like words together. Just have AI use you give it the answer, it's going to write the email, and then like you can go and be human. You can go and talk to somebody. You can go and like connect and use your intuition.
Yeah. Which is something that every human being has, but it is a muscle that is atrophied in a lot of people. We're all born with intuition, but then we stop developing it. We start putting our faces in front of screens and we just kind of let that muscle just wither away.
We live in a world now where it's information people want. They want to know what your preferences are. They want to know what you're taking pictures of. Like that's what's like important to all of these
It's
companies.
convenient and it's a trend. It's a social trend. It's what everybody else is doing. And so if the rest of the tribe is doing it, I better do it because I don't want to be different than everybody.
Oh God, that is so freaking true. I'm very concerned about education right now and the kids coming out of
Mhm.
that. My brother, before I left, he got into a motorcycle accident. So I raised my brother. He was born when I was 14, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, so for the first 8 years, I was like solely responsible for raising him. And because after 8 years, I moved out. As a parent to a kid who is spunky and curious, which
Yeah.
these are qualities I want every child in the world to have. But
Yeah.
God, oh God, is it ever hard to be a parent to a kid like that? You have this like constant fear because you know there's always going to be a phone call. And the phone call is going to come from either them, a cop, or their best friend. So
Yeah.
you know this phone call is going to happen. So my brother hits age 22, and I'm like, and I started to like breathe, and I was like, ah, you know what? He's an adult. I didn't get the phone call, and he's
Yep.
an adult. Like I did it. I did it.
Yep.
Like, I was a good parent. And I was just like, finally, I let everything go. And I was like, wow. And then I got the phone call.
You
So
jinxed yourself. It never ends. Once they're like their personality is their personality. So they could be like 44 and you still get that phone call, you know?
it's true. But I think at 44, as you know, they're elder, you're like, okay, you're on your own at that
Yeah,
point.
this is on you, buddy.
Yeah. So I think up to 25, you're still solely responsible for them. And then
Yeah.
after like 25, 26, they're on their own. Like
How old is he now?
he is now, this year, he turns 25. I did say to him, like, listen, you're 22, like, you don't know life yet. Like, you are still, your brain isn't fully developed. And this is not me making fun of you. I'm not here like, haha, you're a loser, you have half a brain. Like, no, it's like, this is like science. Your brain's not fully developed. You're not making these mature choices because you don't know that forever is a long time. But the reality of a motorcycle accident is like you're going to be a paraplegic. Like that's a reality. Like you might not ever walk again. So the fact that he can walk is
That's
like
a miracle.
it's a freaking miracle. And what like right before I left, he was like he posted something on Instagram, and it was like share a time when you almost died and you survived. And he like put a clip of like his motorcycle accident. And I'm like, you doing like you think that you risked your life for like likes and clicks?
For validation on social media.
And it wasn't like he's making monetizing anything, and he's like speaking out about like the time he almost died, and then this he changed his life around. Before I left, I said to him, you will never be the same. Like you're young, so you'll heal, and you'll heal better than somebody say my age if I got into an accident like that. But you will always have remnants of this pain, and this is never going to leave your life. So
Mm,
your lifestyle is going to change no matter how much you heal, but you can always use your brain. You can
yeah,
always think, you can always learn, study. Like no one can ever stop you from using your brain, but you
yeah,
might not be able to do. He was very into like rock climbing and doing things where it was very like strength training, but like
yeah,
upper body strength. Like he was
yeah.
really good at that. So that breaks my heart that like he won't ever be able to do that anymore
Sure. Yeah.
because the rods in his back are really heavy. And
Oh,
I know, and he's an inch shorter than he used to be because of,
oh
right?
man. Do you think that like got through to him and it taught him, do you think he changed
I think
like
he
in a good way?
will make sense of it later. I don't think he was in the right mindset. This is my impression of what happened. For the first time in his life, he got so much love and attention. We didn't have a good life growing up. Like, first of all, I raised him for the first 8 years. I wasn't the perfect parent. Also, I was 14 years old. I didn't have the skills to be a perfect parent,
Yeah.
but I repeated a lot of, the shame and blame that I got from my parents to him. There was a lot of pressure on him because he was the last kid, 14 years younger than me. There was a big age gap between like myself and my other brother, and then him and the little one.
Hmm.
So when you grow up with such low self worth during those formative years,
Yeah.
you will understand later on that people did what they knew, but it doesn't matter where he's at in his life now. He doesn't have the ability to heal that deep wound because he doesn't even believe it. And when he got into his motorcycle accident, I was so mad at the universe, and I was crying. We had gone back from the hospital, and like I cried for the first 24 hours, and I was on my kitchen floor like at 4 in the morning, like
Oh
cursing the
man.
universe. This is my, like, because I sacrificed my life for him, this was personal to me. And I
Yeah.
was like to the universe, like, how fucking dare you? Like,
Yeah.
I, like everything I said about being good, I take it back. Like,
Yeah.
I am going to be evil now. Like, I was so,
Jesus.
I've always had these like arguments with the universe, and I always hold it over them. I'll be evil if you don't do this. I'll be evil.
Oh man, it was that bad.
It was that bad. And I was so
Wow.
mad. And I'm like, just like yelling at the universe. And then I got a message back and it said, this is his journey now, not yours.
Wow.
We had to do this because he wasn't going to stop. And
Wow.
if we didn't put a hard stop, that kid was going to kill himself because he could not separate his pain and the adrenaline he was using to cope. Like he was in it and he was in it hard. He was making a lot of money, life, he was on a high. He's 22 years old. Life feels invincible. And the universe said if we didn't stop him, like they couldn't just like have him like, scrape his knee. Like it wasn't going to be enough. They're like, we needed to put a hard stop because he was actually on the path to kill himself.
What has all of this taught you about yourself?
That you need to stop punishing yourself for other people's mistakes. And that was it. It's not your journey. It's not about you. And when I realized that, like he needed to have this hard lesson so he can take a look at what his decisions were leading up to it, it freed me to stop blaming myself because I was the caregiver for 8 years. Those 8 years we know are like so formative for a child. And I just kept thinking, well, I should have done this. I should have, been more patient or whatever the case is. Like I was still in high school. Like when I went to visit him one time in the hospital, he said to me, I think I turned out okay because of you. And I was just like, you know what, kid? Like, if I had to do it all over again, I would. Like, in a heartbeat, like,
And you wouldn't change a single thing.
I mean, I would probably change a lot of things, but at the end of the day, if I had the choice to only redo it again, I would still do it. And
Wow.
I wanted him to know too, because at this point I had done a lot more of my internal reflection. I was like, you turned out okay because of you. Like I wanted him to know like the power's in you. It's not in me, it's not in mommy, it's not anything else, it's you. So, but when he said those words, it freed me from being responsible. And like right after, I literally packed my stuff and moved to Mexico.
You
And yeah,
gotta focus on you. It's like you're on an airplane. You gotta put your own oxygen mask on first before you help other people because you've been helping people put their mask on your whole life and you've been suffocating. and now it's time for you to breathe. It's time for you to have some space to get some air. And I mean, I'm on fire with these analogies today. I don't know what it is, but they're just coming to me.
One of the things I actually just put together was, um, from going from being a teenage runaway to selling $1 million properties. And the things that I had learned over 20 years, one of them was you need to put your oxygen mask on first.
So you know, it's not a coincidence that we're having this conversation now, that we reconnected and we're talking about this stuff.
And it happened exactly when it was supposed to happen.
As life tends to do. It's sometimes when we want something to happen and when something is supposed to happen are two completely different things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about you? I keep talking about my life, but like, what about you and like how you got to this place and whatever this place may be?
Whatever this place is, and if you figure that out, let me know. You know, sometimes as much as I would love to give you an answer that would sound really good on a podcast, the truth, Karen, is I don't fucking know. Like I just have no idea. And that's okay because all I know and the only answer I have to that is I just try to be honest with myself every single day. Am I really like am I living my highest truth or am I kidding myself? Am I
Mm-hmm.
living in authenticity or am I living inside of a costume? And so it's like if I just ask myself those questions every single day and I'm really honest with the answer, like I can give myself a bullshit answer or I
Yeah.
can be honest with the answer, then that is for me, that's the only box I need to check off for me to lay my head down when I go to sleep and know that I did everything I could. Am I doing this out of authenticity? Am I doing this from a place of being genuine? And are my intentions pure? Or am I chasing something? Am I chasing
Mm-hmm.
validation? Am I chasing approval? Am I chasing significance, status, or whatever it may be? Am I trying to fill something? Or am I coming from a place of fulfillment? Is that my starting line? And then everything I do is just adding to that, you know? So that's the lens through which I choose to see life and interact with life. And I
Yeah.
think that's the lens that kind of brought me to this place. I don't know what this place is, but it's pretty fucking great. And I know that there's only more of it to come. And so that's just kind of what I focus on. I try not to make things too elaborate. I just keep things super simple and just super honest. And sometimes it's not pretty. Sometimes
Yeah.
there's no pleasure or satisfaction in what you do. Like spiritual growth, as you know, is not always the most pleasant thing, but I think that's the fun part, like the fun of it, the beauty of it is that there is a lot of ugly moments and there's a lot of pain and trials and tribulations that you have to go through. But I don't know if that answered the question, but that's the best I got.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's a lot of I think it's a lot of work because it's you're meeting your triggers in almost every single person because everyone is, for the most part annoying. Is it a me thing? Is it a them thing? Like, eh.
Yeah, it's not me, it's you. But it's actually kind of me, and I say
uh,
that because it is like everything that you experience in your life is just a reflection of what you're holding within you. It's every person that's in your life, every person that leaves and then enters your life is just a reflection of what you're holding on to. It's kind of like you've probably had experiences where you just think about somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time, and out of the blue, they just text you or they message you. And it was like I was just thinking about you and you messaged me. That's not a coincidence that happens. We're all connected on that like invisible level.
yes.
Kind of like trees look like they're separate, but under the ground, they're all connected by their roots, the mycelial network. Humans are
Yeah.
connected the same way. I can't, I don't know if it's like through tree roots of a tree, but it's there's some extra dimension that we don't see where we all are connected. We're all one. And
That is so interesting. And you mentioned this last time, and I was like, wow, that's amazing that you could get to that place and feel it. I don't know if I'm disconnected from people or I'm just tired of people.
you're not disconnected from people or tired of people. You're just connected to the wrong people.
Do you think there's going to be a split? There's going to be that consciousness shift where all the people who genuinely are open to feeling each other's energy are going to be able to kind of have a clearer highway.
Let me answer it with another analogy. I'm looking out my window right now. I don't know what the weather is like in Mexico, but here it's sunny. It's very sunny, but there's a lot of clouds in the sky. I know that the sun is there. The sun is always there, and it always has been there, and it's always shining, and it always has been shining. But right now, there's a bunch of clouds that are covering it, and so I can't really receive the sunshine at this moment. I don't feel the sunshine, but I know the sun is there. And just because there's a bunch of clouds in the sky, that doesn't mean that the sun isn't shining, and that doesn't mean the sun isn't there. And so you asked, do you think there comes a point where all those people fall off and then there's a clearer path to those people, to that connection and to finding the right
Yeah.
people? It's not about finding those people. It's just about removing the clouds because those people are there. They always have been there, and they're a lot closer to you than you think. You don't have to go out and find them. You just have to notice them amongst all the other clouds. You just have to notice that there's a sun right there. You just clear the clouds out of the way, and the sun that's always been there is there. So it's like, don't focus on going and finding the right people. Just focus on getting rid of the clouds and getting rid of the negative ones, and then the right ones will be there as a byproduct.
This is something I wish more people understood when it came to asking for support and advice. Be careful where you get your advice. A lot of people, they're settling for advice from their mom. And I'm not saying all moms are wrong. If her motive is to keep her kid happy and think that they're the most special person on the planet, she's not giving you the right advice. When you talk about removing the clouds, to me, I'm seeing that people need to choose where because these bad advice could be like these dark clouds that are all starting to like connect to each other. And now you're sitting there and the sky's pitch black because you've accepted all of these bad advice.
Yeah. And then the sky is so black that you're under the assumption that the sun must be somewhere else. And you spend your whole life looking for the sun when it's been up there the whole time. You just can't fucking see it.
Yeah, you need to be careful where you get your advice because I wouldn't go to the janitor to ask how to invest in stocks. He might be good. He might be doing it on the side, but more likely than not,
He wouldn't be a janitor if he was an expert in his field.
exactly. And it's like, whereas I don't go to, I wouldn't go to my divorced mother to ask for relationship advice.
Yeah. You wouldn't go to the fat guy in the gym to ask for fitness advice.
And this is where I'm like, why are people constantly going to their parents as the default? When you're going through a divorce and you're struggling, your mother, your parents are not divorce lawyers. You're doing yourself a disservice by asking your parents. You can inform them, but my first road would be to go to a divorce lawyer or any kind of lawyer.
Somebody who has actual expertise
Yeah,
in that field. People just assume that like, oh well, when I was a kid, my mom and dad, I always thought that my mom and dad knew best, and that's all I know. And so I'm just gonna go to mom and dad because I don't know any better.
they are the worst people to go to for anything about relationships. And as a relationship coach, like I would say to people, I'm not a dating coach. If you want to go on Bumble and get more dates, go for it. Like I don't go online dating. I can't help you. But if you want to know how to have a healthy relationship and actually try to have like communication, I'm going to learn how to understand your triggers. Relationships need to go to relationship experts, period. I wish more people knew that they can ask for help. Nobody wants to admit that they've never had a healthy relationship. And when I meet women that are in their 60s, and they're saying to me, I've never had a healthy relationship and I've never admitted it before. And I'm like, but do you know how many people have never been in a healthy relationship? Because what was modeled to them likely was not healthy. And the shame just keeps us trapped, or comfort.
Nobody teaches that. Nobody teaches that. No, there, that is a being in a relationship with somebody is a skill. A healed woman or a healed man, either way, a healed person will affect 10 more people. So like a healed man who's like no longer insecure in their own masculinity, they're comfortable in their skin, they will inspire 100 other men to feel the same way. And then each of those men, 100 others each. I think it'll do the whole world just a massive service of just
Yeah.
breaking people out of those boxes that don't really mean anything in the first place, you know?
The reason I think healed women can make a bigger impact right now is that a man will only open up to his partner. Like he only feels safe with his partner for the most part. Men have their guard up for so long. They have to, and they don't know how to put their guard down. So you
Yeah.
need to teach their body it's safe, and
Yep.
then you can do the work. But yes,
Wow.
once you get to do that work, that becomes a ripple effect. If you knew that all of you guys are desperately searching for the same fucking thing, you would not be embarrassed to say this to one of your buddies.
And your buddies wouldn't humiliate you for saying it in the first place.
Yeah, but like none of you guys are saying it, but yet every single one of you are saying it to me. They just really want affection because you need it. That's how you co-regulate.
Yeah. It's like we're puppy dogs. If you just pet us and tell us you love us and just, just show us a little attention and affection, that's all we need.
You guys are starved. Men are
Yeah.
starved for any, like a crumb of like, just tell me I'm doing it right. Like, just tell me I'm okay. Tell me I'm not failing.
It sounds like if like to the average person who heard that, it sounds kind of pathetic, but it really is so true. Just that basic thing that all guys need. Um, it's so true. It is a real thing. It is not like you can be NCI expert certified and know the depths of human behavior, but that doesn't make you immune to it. That doesn't make you immune to needing, words of affirmation or physical touch or validation, or just to be told that you're doing a good job. Like that goes
Yeah.
a long way.
This is where like women need to take the lead.
Mm.
You need to take the lead. You need to be soft. You need to be safe enough so that when you say this to him, he's not like, I don't believe this. Like you have to be soft. And then he'll be like receptive to you. Like I'm putting it on women right now because it's up to them. Nobody wins with you trying to show that you can conquer the world.
Sometimes some people feel like they have to. That's how they get their needs met. That's how they feel significant. That's how they feel approval, intelligence, strength, and power. That's how they get that dopamine is by feeling useful, by feeling productive, by feeling like they can do anything that a man can do.
If I could talk to the women out there, I would say, honestly, one of the best feelings in the world is when your man feels safe in your energy. I get it. I get, hitting those targets is really fucking cool and shit. But when you have a masculine man and he is safe in your energy and you can feel that, and it's not like he just melts in your hand, it's he feels safe. his mask is off, this is a person that's separate from you. This
Mm,
person doesn't have to feel safe in your energy. And when you're able to do that,
that's powerful.
that feels better, in my opinion, than any award somebody can give you. This is what's important because you know that you've nourished his soul and that
Mm.
he can do anything right now. Like he will be invincible. He will be the best version of himself because you fed his soul.
And that's why I think your role is so important, is because you're spreading this awareness and you're spreading this message so that people can take this into their relationships and their partners, and they can make their man feel safe. And you're also inadvertently teaching men to feel more safe in their partner's presence. And so it's like this synergistic effect. This has been this has been a very powerful conversation.
This has
I'm
been,
really glad that we connected and we actually captured some of this on recording.
and we need to let people know it's safe to follow your truth.
Yeah.
And of course, we can only lead by example because I've tried yelling at people and it doesn't seem to work. I want to see all the leaders really stand up right now.
And this is the most important time, the most sensitive time for leaders to stand up and speak out.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of eyes watching, and good and bad. It's learning to stand tall even in the face of rejection. Not everyone's going to agree
But it has to be done. You have to share your message in spite of people disagreeing and ridiculing you and shaming you.
because
That's the only
truth
way.
has a frequency, and we
I like
all
that.
need to really feel that. And when we feel it, we feel it. I know, I know it, I know it.
Karen, what can I do to be of service to you?
You know what, Cameron, you have been so incredible. Your ability to understand, see things, and do it from a place of calmness and authenticity. The way you describe and support and put words into like my randomness, it's been so freaking helpful. Like getting off a call with you makes me feel like I'm doing this for a reason, like all of this.
Wow. Wow. That's huge. And I really appreciate you saying that. It was very kind of you to say. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. And what can I do to help you?
This conversation was more than enough. The pleasure was all on this side. And just if you want to know what you can do, just keep taking things a day at a time and continue to just spread your message and be yourself and don't change a thing about who you are. Um, but just remember to live in your truth every single day. And that's all that I could ask for. And another thing is let's have another conversation very soon.
I literally just exhaled. And when you said that, I was like, oh my God, yes, like take it one day at a time. That is such like you leave these gems that I'm like, and I remember them all. Like,
I know you showed on this. I'm like, oh my God, she remembers from last time. This is impressive.
it's the truth.
The truth with a capital T. Because there's a difference between true and truth. So, like, I went through 20 years of trauma. Well, that's true. And I have these beliefs about myself. Well, that's true, but that's not truth. The truth is, none of those things are real. Those are just my subjective interpretation of them and of the world around me, but that does not define the world. My view of the world is not what the world really is. So it may be true to me, but the truth is so much more than what I can see with my limited view. So truth has a frequency, but only truth with a capital T.
You nailed it.
How's that for a gem?
And this is why the message needs to be shared as often as possible because people relate to people.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why you and I continuing to have these talks is only going to be a good thing and a beneficial thing to anybody who comes across it. Karen, it was great talking to you as always, and until we meet again.
Take good care. Bye.
Bye-bye.